Hey there, today I'm going to teach you how to play a very cool song, Goo Goo Dolls, Here Is Gone. It's got a really cool tuning. I don't know the name of the tuning. I am not a technically trained guitarist or very good with technique to begin with. I just kind of play what feels good. So if anybody knows the name of this tuning, please put it in the comments because I would love to know. It's very, very fun to play. But we can go over the tuning from high strings up to the top. We have the highest at an F, D flat, A flat, D flat, A flat, D flat. So those three high strings are tuned up a little bit higher, enough to make you nervous as you're pulling these things up a little bit higher. And then the low three strings are lower than normal. So almost down to like a drop C where you can play like System of a Down. But then you get into those and it's a little bit different. So the song Here Is Gone by the Goo Goo Dolls really has just a couple distinct sections. Nothing is too crazy difficult. So this is a really cool song if you can get this tuning for beginners to start out with and really make some progress and build up confidence in this instrument, which is the most important piece, is feeling like you can do it right and making songs sound very good. So the verse, the intro, they're the same thing for this song. They sound like this. So really, 4 chords with a slide in there, and let's go over each of them. So we start out with this right here. What I have is my ring finger is on the 7th fret up on what is originally the D string in a standard tuning. And then on the G string, I have my pointer finger on the 5th fret. And we're only strumming the bottom 4 strings. Everything else is open, and it's got that really beautiful sound there. And that really distinctive sound on the intro just comes from that slide, keeping the same chord shape up 2 frets. So your ring finger will be on the 9th fret, and your pointer finger will be on the 7th fret. So it sounds like this when you just play the slide by itself. And that's really all you're doing. And that is the first note of the song. And you can kind of feel the strumming out as you go throughout the song. Everybody's going to strum a little bit different. In the song, I believe they do something like... And that's what you're doing, really. Sliding up. But when you come back down, that's not technically a slide, but no one's really going to know if you... You could slide that in there, I guess, but the way the song is actually played is not with a slide. But as you're learning, get the feel for it. If that works for you, cool. And then the next part of the song is just 2 different chords, and these are very easy ones to do. So I use my middle finger and my ring finger, and I am up on the 7th fret in a standard tuning, what would be the A string, second one from the top, and my low E string, the top string. So just 2 fingers, blocking at the 7th fret. Full strum, you want all of these strings to ring out. And then the next part, you're just sliding down 2 frets. And then you can figure out the strumming from there. I love this tuning because that is a very distinctive sound. It's really a beautiful tuning. So the intro and the verse all go like this. There you go. So I believe they play that twice for the intro and then probably 3 or 4 times for the verses. And I'm not much of a singer. I'll try just to show you how the tuning and the sound goes. But that's the intro and the verse. And then we hop into the pre-chorus, which is really cool as well because it's such a big part of this song. This little build-up going into the chorus. So the intro is, something like, you and I've got something, but it's all in there, it's nothing to me. And then when they go into the pre-chorus, there's a little bit of difference. So you'll be down here, again, the same chord shape where I've got 2 fingers blocking the high and low strings, the E and the A. Same shape, coming down to the 2nd fret. So that's the beginning of our pre-chorus, and then we're going to hop up to the 9. We're going to do each of those for 1 measure, so a 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're up at the 12 for 2 measures. So count to 4 twice or count to 8, whatever. And you'll get the feel for it as you're singing this song and playing it. But the bridge is, I'm not the one what do you got to move down? And then they come back down. So you only do that pattern once. The 2 to the 9, same chord shape, up to the 12 for 2 bars, and then we do it a little bit different. So as we head into the chorus, there's a little bit of a build-up. So I'll tell you what I do during that part of the song. So come down from the 12. I thought then we head into the chorus, but those chord shapes are fairly easy. So we're keeping that same 2-finger blocking the low E and A, and then up to the 9th fret, just like in that first pre-chorus set. But instead of hopping up to the 12 for 2 measures, we have 2 more measures to fill, so we fill them with the 7. So we're up at the 7th fret, just like in the verse. So that's not the actual strumming in the song. But if you don't have drums, you can kind of do a cool build-up just by, as long as it's in time. And again, for the pre-chorus, it's all full strings. Just let the thing ring out. And it sounds really good in this tuning. So you let that build up. So let's get to the chorus. There's only really 2 more parts of this song to learn. And this is where my technique may differ from yours. So I know that the real technique is to hold say you're holding a power chord. You want to hold your power chords like this. But if you want to drop this 3rd note here, you should just lift up your pinky and use your ring and your index finger. But for this, you need that shape for the chorus. So the first shape of the chorus is almost like a little power chord where you're playing a D if you're in standard tuning, but you're not using that 3rd fifth right there. So what you're doing is you're taking your pointer finger and your ring finger. I'm going to change this in a second, but I'm going to show you the right way to do it. You put your ring finger up on the 7th fret, and you're strumming all the strings except for your low. What was your E but is your D flat. You're strumming all of that. Get it all in there. Again, I'll say it again. The tuning is beautiful. But when I play this, sometimes, I know my technique's off, and I'm pretty sure that I have some bad habits that's causing this. But what I do is I use my pinky on that 7th fret, and then my pointer finger on the 5th fret. Because what we're going to do in the chorus is we're going to drop down. We're going to drop that pointer finger, and I can stretch that a little bit easier right there. Nothing else is changing, but I'm moving my pointer finger down to the 4th fret. Still everything. We're letting everything strum except for that low D flat. And that's the chorus. So we're coming off of this. So we've talked about this shape right here. So you're at a 5, 7, let it ring. And then you drop down to that 4, 7. And it sounds exactly like the vocals. It's an amazing part of the song. Okay. And then we are going to go back to that same shape, the 5, 7, and just do a 2, 4. So it's almost like you're doing what is this, like a B sharp if you're in standard tuning. But you're going to let it ring again. And again, bad habits. Using my pinky. You could use this guy if you want. Sorry. Right there. And then you're just moving it down. And you use 0, 2, 0, 0, 0. And that's the chorus when you end it with that same chord shape up at the 5. Right there. Really cool. So the chorus, I'll just hum the lyrics, but you just do that twice. And that's a killer part of the song. Just do it twice. It's a really cool part. And then you just hop right back in. They waste no time getting back into the verse. So it's... And then they hop right back into the verse. And there's only one more part of this song. They have a little bridge. This is where I'm a little fuzzy on this, but I think I've got it down. What we do is we are coming out of the chorus, right? So we'll hop right over here. And then we are doing a power chord shape on the 2, 4, just right here. And we're strumming everything except for that low D flat. Okay, so it's gonna... And then that same shape up at the 5th. And then we're gonna go into that same shape as the chorus where we hit that 5, 7, and then drop our ring finger, or our pointer finger down a fret. But the strumming is different here in this bridge. And then I'll tell you the other parts of the bridge. So we're going to do this progression once, and then we're going to go through it again. And then we hop back down here. And then just like the chorus, we're going to do this 2, 4, this B sharp shape. And then we drop down to like this A shape, and then up here, and then like a little build like we do in our pre-chorus. So it sounds like this. I'm not sure if that's 100% correct, but that is the entire song. There's not much more to it. It's a very distinctive... the entire song. So that's how I play it. I don't focus on strumming too much because I just feel like that comes with time once you start learning to sing the songs. But I just learned this one a couple of weeks ago. Really love playing it. It really hits a vein with what I used to listen to as a kid on the radio. Seems like you couldn't get away from the Goo Goo Dolls. So it's a really fun song to play. And as I learn the lyrics and stuff like that, I find myself singing it more and more and more. But really, really a great song. So hope you enjoyed the lesson. And stay tuned to the channel as we upload more rock, country. I'm all over the place with my music. So just love the guitar and want to teach everyone how to play it. Talk to you soon.